Can the human body withstand temperatures above 100 degrees Celsius, like those of boiling water? What happens when someone encounters such extreme conditions? While cases involving exposure to boiling water might be rare, there have been numerous instances of hyperthermia. Hyperthermia is a condition where the body overheats beyond its ability to regulate temperature, becoming an increasingly silent yet deadly threat, particularly during extreme weather events. From tragic deep-sea diving accidents to the fatal consequences of heat waves, hyperthermia claims lives in sudden and often preventable ways. In this video, we will explore several hyperthermia incidents that have resulted in deaths. On September 9, 1975, divers Peter Holmes, 29, and Roger Baldwin, 24, were retrieved from the North Sea and transferred into a diving bell, which was then connected to the entrance lock of their saturation system. They had just completed a dive to a depth of 390 feet. That's 120 meters to remove a tangle of rope from the guideposts of a blowout preventer. The dive went smoothly, and the plan was to decompress the men inside the bell to 310 feet. That's 94 meters, before transferring them into the chamber complex for saturation. The control panel for the deep dive system was equipped with a series of valves and gauges, each corresponding to different chambers. Redundancy in the plumbing was crucial, and the system allowed the valves to be adjusted so that any gauge could monitor the depth of a different chamber. In this case, a highly accurate 1,000-foot, that's 300-meter, Hayes gauge on Chamber 1's panel was used to track the diver's ascent and their transfer from the bell to the chamber. The rationale was to prevent any decompression issues that might arise from using separate gauges that could have discrepancies. Once the divers were safely in Chamber 1, the supervisor was supposed to reset the valves to their original positions to monitor the diver's depth. At 9:50 p.m., the crew connected the bell to the entrance lock as planned, but a gas leak developed between the mating flanges. The bell was removed, the flange surfaces were cleaned, and on the second attempt, the bell was successfully sealed to the system. As Holmes and Baldwin equalized the pressure between the bell and the rest of the complex, they began transferring into the entrance lock. Suddenly, the gas leak returned. The Hayes gauge needle dropped, indicating pressure loss, and an attempt was made to isolate the divers by sealing the entrance lock door to the bell. However, this effort was abandoned. To protect the divers from further pressure loss, the supervisor instructed Holmes and Baldwin to move into Chamber 1. They leaned against the inside hatch while the supervisor injected a small amount of helium into the chamber to seal the door. However, the supervisor forgot to reset the valves to reconnect the Hayes gauge to Chamber 1. As Chamber 1 lacked its own dedicated depth gauge, Holmes and Baldwin were now in a section of the system that was not being monitored. The Hayes gauge continued to show a pressure drop, which the supervisor mistakenly believed was occurring in Chamber 1. He assumed the hatch had not been sealed properly and began pumping large amounts of pure helium into the chamber. By the time he realized his mistake, Holmes and Baldwin had been rapidly pressurized from 310 feet, that's 94 meters, to 650 feet, that's 200 meters, within minutes. The rapid compression combined with helium's high thermal conductivity and the high humidity caused the temperature inside the chamber to spike from an estimated 90 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 32 degrees Celsius, to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 49 degrees Celsius. The two divers desperately tried to escape by pulling on the hatch, but were unable to open it. They eventually removed the mattress from the bunks and lay on the cooler aluminum surfaces, but the atmosphere became unbearable. Both men died of hypothermia a few hours later. A fatal accident inquiry later revealed that the design and labeling of the diving system, particularly as operated by Oceaneering, posed a high risk of human error, especially during emergencies. Oceaneering's safety officer testified that the design of the control panel was a contributory factor in the accident. He stated that if Chamber 1 had been equipped with a dedicated depth gauge, permanently fixed for monitoring only that chamber, the accident likely would not have occurred. Such a gauge would have prevented the supervisor from being misled by the Hayes gauge, and there would have been no reason to inject massive amounts of helium into the chamber. A tragic incident occurred on August 21, 2021, in a remote area of California where a family of three, John Girish, Ellen Chung, and their 1-year-old daughter Miju, died of hypothermia and probable dehydration while hiking in the Sierra National Forest. Their dog also perished, likely due to heat-related causes. Mariposa County Sheriff Jeremy Brees announced 2 days after the incident. The family was found in the Devil's Gulch area, a day after a concerned family friend reported them missing. Temperatures on the day of the hike ranged from 92 to 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Hyperthermia, a potentially fatal form of heat stroke, occurs when the body reaches an abnormally high temperature, according to the National Institutes of Health. When authorities located the family, they found only one water container, which was empty with no additional water or filtration systems, and no evidence of a portable dog bowl. The discovery of the bodies initially prompted authorities to treat the area as a hazmat scene, given the remote location, lack of cell phone service, and other potential hazards. The region was known to have toxic algal blooms in the Merced River and nearby abandoned mine shafts that could have released dangerous gases. Christy Mitchell, a spokesperson for the sheriff's office, described the situation as very unusual and unique, noting that there were no signs of trauma, no obvious cause of death, and no suicide known. Sheriff Brees confirmed there was no evidence that the family had consumed water from the Merced River, which had been confirmed to contain toxins. Additionally, there was no indication that the family had accessed or used the abandoned mine shafts in the area. In response to the incident, several sites and trails in the Sierra National Forest were closed due to public safety concerns and unknown hazards. The heat wave that enveloped the Houston region proved fatal when Felipe Pascual, 46, succumbed to hypothermia on June 16th. This coincided with daily high temperatures approaching or exceeding 100 degrees, according to John Florence, chief investigator at the Galveston County Medical Examiner's Office. Pascual, who was working on an outdoor construction site in Fort Bend County, collapsed and was transported to Memorial Hermann Pearland Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. A similar incident occurred the previous year when Aaron, a Houston police dog, died from heat exhaustion after being left in a parked patrol vehicle with the engine and air conditioning turned off while the officer was away. The Houston Police Department reported that the vehicle's safety systems, which are designed to alert the handler by sounding the horn, activated cooling fans and rolling down the windows if the engine fails. It did not function as intended. During a days-long heat wave, the triple-digit temperatures, a 66-year-old woman from North Richland Hills died of hypothermia on Tuesday, July 26, 2023. The woman was found by a neighbor at the Villas on Bear Creek, a senior living apartment complex, around 5:30 p.m. Monday. She was transported to a nearby hospital where she passed away hours later at 12:30 a.m. Her death highlights a troubling trend, as local hospitals report an increase in patients being treated for heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Dr. Eric Martin from Baylor Scott and White Medical Center in Irving noted that the number of cases had risen significantly this summer. Last year, we might have seen a couple of patients a day, Dr. Martin said. This year, heat-related illnesses now account for at least 5 to 8% of our patient volume. Dr. Martin demonstrated the standard treatment for heat-related illnesses, which begins with applying ice packs to 3 key areas: the neck, armpits, and groin, where major arteries are located. Cooling these areas helps to reduce overall body temperature more effectively. Additionally, fans and, in extreme cases, specialized high-tech air conditioners designed for human use are employed if the body temperature exceeds 104 degrees. The tragic stories of hypothermia deaths remind us of the importance of both prevention and being prepared. While quick actions like applying ice packs can save lives, it's better to focus on avoiding the dangers of extreme heat in the first place. Staying cool, drinking plenty of water, and finding shade are key steps in protecting ourselves, especially for the elderly, children, and those working outdoors. Recognizing the signs of heat-related illness and responding quickly can be the difference between life and death. Being cautious is the best way to guard against the dangers of hypothermia. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like and share. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on staying safe.